I don't know if they. Yeah, just do what you're doing.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. It say Henry Smith captured, the brutal ravisher and murderer brought back. Paris, Texas, January 31st. Paris was reasonably quiet today, awaiting news of Henry Smith. In the evening, the report reached here that Smith had been tracked to Manchester, Red River County, and captured after a hard fight in which he killed one of his pursuers and wounded another one, being himself shot 4 times. Again, it was reported that G.W. Crook had run upon him, but had to kill him. This was not well received. By this time, everyone was excited and business was suspended, and the entire population took to the streets. When the following telegraphs were made public: Ozark, Arkansas, January 31st, South Cat Mayor, Paris, Texas. We have captured Henry Smith. Leave Hope at 6:50 a.m. tomorrow. Signed Jazz T. Hicks and others. Uh, a telegram to Washington, Arkansas, January 31st, to J.L. Shanklin, City Marshal, Paris, from Paris, Texas. Have got the Negro. Will reach Paris at 12:05. Be prepared to protect us. Signed B.B. Sturgeon. Mr. Sturgeon is our county attorney and had with his posse Negroes who knew Smith well, as he did himself. The town went wild. Men gathered and knots discussing the welcome news and eagerly seeking more details. There had been so many false rumors, and its quick capture in Arkansas had been so little hoped for, that the parties were wired and replied. Hope, Arkansas, January 31st. We have, hold on. Did I already read that part? Okay. Hope, Arkansas. This is the telegram they sent to Hope, Arkansas, January 31st. We have the Negro Henry Smith, beyond any doubt. Signed B.B. Sturgeon. Okay, they sent another one. We are here with the Negro. He is Henry Smith beyond any doubt. Your county attorney is here and knows him. Okay, signed Jazz T. Hicks. Okay, give me a second. A large party here tonight on a special for Texarkana to meet Sturgeon and make sure of keeping Smith. Telegrams are pouring in from all points in the surrounding country, asking when Smith would get here and at what time his execution would come off, as they wanted to be here. Too much cannot be said for the Texas and Pacific, Santa Fe, and Frisco railroads, which have cooperated earnestly with every effort to capture Smith. All parties, individuals, and posses engaged in the search have been transported free of charge, and in several instances, special transportation furnished. They have earned a warm place with the people here, waiting for Smith. Large crowds in Texarkana depot waiting for the rapture. Texarkana, Texas, January 31st. Henry Smith, the murderer of Little Merle Vance at Paris, was captured near Hope, Arkansas, 25 miles east of here on the Iron Mountain Railroad this afternoon and has been fully identified. I report that he will be brought through here tonight, cause intense excitement, and a large crowd gathered at the depot to await the arrival of the train, which, however, failed to bring him, as there is no train from this point to Paris at night. The officers concluded to keep the prisoner at Hope tonight and bring him here in the morning, when at 8:25 they will make connection for Paris over the transactional road. Participants could not be learned concerning their arrest tonight, but that the right Negro is captured is certain beyond peradventure of a doubt. Okay, I'm going to go to the next. Y'all bear with me.
Take your time,
Okay.
brother.
All right. This here is little Myrtle Vance. Uh, as you can see, they made a pamphlet and a book right after goddamn it. They did this damn fiendish ass devilish shit. They named it an eye for an eye. The fiend and the faggot. You know what I'm saying? They charged it 25 cents for the pamphlet after they got done doing what they did. As it say, Henry Smith was burned at the stake February 1st, 1893. Okay, let's get into some of the wording. Tortured and burned in Texas. Never in history of civilization has any Christian people stooped to such shocking brutality and this indescribable barbarism as that which characterized the people of Paris, Texas, in adjacent communities on the 1st of February, 1893. The cause of this awful outbreak of human passion was the murder of a 4-year-old child, daughter of a man named Vance. This man, damn, hold on. Vance. Okay. Let's see. Bring it. 4-year-old child, daughter of a man named Vance. This man, Vance, had been a police officer in Paris for years and was known to be a man of bad temper, overbearing manner, and given to hastily treating the prisoners up under his care. That's the source right there down there. A red record. The source out of B. Wells. Here's the picture where they found the child. Down in Red River County. Okay. Let's see this better. I got my damn glasses on. Screen. Okay. It say, in the same town, there lived a Negro named Henry Smith, a well-known character, a kind of rustabout, who was generally considered a harmless, weak-minded fellow, not capable of doing any important work, but sufficiently able to do chores and odd jobs around the houses of the white people who cared to employ him. A few days before the final tragedy, this man Smith was accused of murdering Myrtle Vance. The crime of murder was of itself bad enough. And to prove that against Smith would have been amply sufficient in Texas to have committed him to the gallows. But the finding of the child so exasperated the father and his friends that they at once shamefully exaggerated the facts and declared that the baby had been ruthlessly assaulted and then killed. The truth was bad enough, but the white people of the community made it a point to exaggerate every detail of the awful affair and to inflame the public mind so that nothing less than immediate and violent death would satisfy the populace. As a matter of fact, the child was not brutally assaulted, as the world had been told in excuse for the awful barbarism of that day. Persons who saw the child after the death have stated, under the most solemn pledge to truth, that there was no evidence of such an assault as was published at that time. Only a slight abrasion and discoloration was noticeable, and that mostly about the neck. In spite of this fact, so intimate a man, Bishop Haygood, for deliberately and must also appear maliciously, falsified the fact by stating that the child was torn limb from limb, or to quote his own words, first outraged with demoniacal cruelty, and then taken from heels and torn asunder in the mad wantonness of guerrilla ferocity. That's a red record. That's the source down now. Okay, this is the Vance family. This is the White Devil family. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to that baby, you know. But we all know who did that to that baby. It wasn't no damn black man, not no goddamn 1893. They got white folks, white devil, white dragon written all over that shit. Hold on, let's see this right here. Meeting of citizens. Okay, they had a meeting.
There's some grapes. There's some grapes.
Yeah, I want my tea.
Meeting of citizens.
I made myself feel better.
Called at the courthouse, and captains appointed to search for the child. She was found mangled beyond recognition, covered with leaves and brush as above. Recovery of the body, that the crime was atrocious. The whole town turned out in the chase. The railroads put up bulletins, offerings, free transportation to all who would join in the search. Posses went in every direction, and not a stone was left unturned. Smith was tracked to Detroit on foot, where he jumped on a freight train, and left for his old home in Hempstead County, Arkansas. To this county he was tracked, and yesterday captured at Claw, a flag station on the Arkansas and Louisiana Railway, about 20 miles north of Hope, Arkansas. Upon being questioned, the fiend denied everything, but upon being stripped for examination, his undergarments were seen to be splattered with blood, and a part of his shirt was torn off. He was kept under heavy guard at Hope last night, and later on confessed the crime. Some bullshit. This morning, he was brought through Texarkana, where 5,000 people awaited the train, anxious to see a man who had received the fate of Ed Coy. At the place, speeches were made by prominent Paris citizens who asked that the prisoner be not molested by Texarkana people, but that the guard be allowed to deliver him up to the outraged and indignant citizens of Paris, Texas. That's the red record. This the ancestor Henry Smith. He was either 17 or 27. I think I give him 27 because he had a stepson. They killed his stepson too. All right, but yeah, this is Henry Smith. This is the hold on. It's Henry Smith, right? This them up there. This them up here waiting on these waiting on their train. They sitting up there waiting on their goddamn train, sitting around smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Just having a good old time. Just a bunch of devils, just a bunch of white devils out there kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Just having a good time. You know, waiting on this black guy to come through. You know what I'm saying? Or we can do something to him. But look, okay, let's get on down. Okay, Arkansas on January 31st, 1893. These officers bound Smith in handcuffs and took the train back to Paris. Along the way, mobs of angry and belligerent whites met the party transporting Smith back to Paris, and voiced their desire to see him lynched. When the train arrived in Texarkana, Texas, 2,000 men gathered and expressed their desire to see Smith lynched. The mob demanded Smith to be given over to them so they could lynch him, so they could lynch the brute. However, the mob decided that the people of Paris deserved their vengeance. It was a foregone conclusion that, guilty or not, Smith was going to die. Whites in Paris were exhilarated at the chance to lynch Smith. In the 1890s, public burnings became a popular form of lynching throughout the South. The Dallas Morning News reported a day prior to Smith's capture that it is almost universal sentiment that he On that day, on the day of lynching, aroused citizens from all over Northeast Texas and Arkansas came to view the spectacle. These onlookers filled almost every train destined for Paris. The railroad company even increased the number of passenger trains traveling to the city to accommodate the sheer number of curious whites. No one tried to stop the inevitable. Instead, locals prepared for the imminent lynching and assembled a large float box with the word justice painted across the front and a chair on top in order to secure Smith to the structure and parade him through this town. Check. Y'all here with me?
We here, brother. The chat is
okay,
rooting you on, brother.
Okay. This is Paris is burning, lynching and racial violence in Lamar County. That's the source on that there. All right, that's them. They look at these motherfuckers, man. Look at these motherfuckers, man. Now, arriving here at 12 o'clock, the train was met by a surging mass of humanity. 10,000 strong. The Negro was placed upon a carnival float in mockery of a king upon his throne, and followed by an immense crowd, was escorted through the city so that all might see the most inhumane monster known in current history. The line of march was up the main street to the square, around the square, down Clarksville Street to the Church Street, thence to the open prairies about 300 yards from the Texas and Pacific Depot. This is the source right here, New York Times. As you can see, these motherfucking Peckerwood, they out there goddamn having a good time. They packed out there. It's like goddamn like they waiting on a superstar to pull up. You know what I'm saying? But it's a black guy. This is Henry Smith. They got him handcuffed. You know what I'm saying? Look at the young cracker in the picture. You know what I'm saying? She in it too. She a part of it too. Fucking devil. Watch this. See this. Man, this is a nice little old piece. I don't know if y'all were home. I don't think I can read it out. This is nice. Fucking devil. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I might have to get it off my phone. Let me get it off my phone. Get it off my phone better.
You're good.
I'm reading it. Well, I might just skip that one because it's gonna be the motherfucker gonna be kind of hard, and then it be long as a motherfucking strong. Well, hold on, but I might need to still read some of it. Okay, I read right here to when the train pulled up. Okay. He must die at the stake. That's what it say right here. That's where I'm at. It say, when the train pulled up at the Texas and Pacific Depot, from 15,000 to 20,000 people were there to take charge of him. And every preparation had been made to receive him. As the crowd surrounded the train, Honorable H.B. Birmingham of the something, who was with the escort, made a brief address and said, fellow citizens, there is no officer now on the train who had any control over the prisoner, Henry Smith. 20 of the citizens went in reply to a telegram for your county attorney to meet him and see that the prisoner was protected and delivered here without injury. We have done that thing, and we have not deceived or misled you. We are not officers. He said, we are not officers. We are not citizens. We are not officers. Citizens. We are citizens. We have no authority to hold this prisoner against you or anyone, and shall make no effort to do so. As citizens, we merely wish to surrender the prisoner. We believe you would do what is right. Whatever is done, let it be done, as the people of Lamar County have done everything in a law-abiding, peaceable, and patriotic way. Now, how is this shit? Can somebody explain to me how this shit is law-abiding and peaceable and patriotic? Is this what they mean when they put all this shit in the law? You know what I'm saying? At this time, this is what law and all this whole shit meant. Now let's get to this other slide. Okay. Now, can you see that, K-Dub?
Yeah, make it zoom in a little bit more.
Can you see it good? You can't see it that good?
Zoom in a little
Zoom
bit
in
more.
some more.
Yeah.
Can you see it better?
Nah. Go down there. Oh, go. Oh, okay. Go back a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit
Right there.
more. A little bit more.
Okay.
A little bit more. Right there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, as you can see, here Smith was placed upon the scaffold, 6 feet and 10 feet high, securely bound within the view of all beholders. It's about 15, it's like say about 15,000 motherfuckers out here. You know what I'm saying? 15,000 white devils. Hold on, let me go ahead and go down real quick. Keep going. Okay. Here, the victim was tortured for 50 minutes by red-hot iron brands thrust against his quivering body. Commencing at his feet, the brands were placed against him, inch by inch, until they were thrust against the face. This is New York, February 2nd, 1893. Telegram. Can y'all see these pictures?
Yep. Okay, baby. Yeah, we can see it.
You see them? You see the smoke coming up off? You see the smoke coming from up off that justice?
Mm-hmm.
Off that scaffold?
Yeah.
Then, being apparently dead, kerosene was poured upon him. Cottonseed hulls placed beneath him and set on fire. In less time did it take to relate it, the tortured man was wafted beyond the grave to another fire, hotter and more terrible than the one just experienced. Curiosity. Seekers had carried away already all that was left of the memorable event, even to pieces of charcoal. Now, I'm not the smartest motherfucking man in the world, but 15,000 motherfuckers was out there and watched this man get killed, burnt alive, burnt again, all type of shit. And now they're watching motherfuckers run up, steal pieces of his goddamn shirt that they can find up in there, piece of his goddamn skin and bone that they can grab up out of that charcoal, a piece of wood. And they ain't thinking one of these motherfuckers might be the motherfucker that killed the baby. Okay, hold on. All right. Well, like I say, hold on. The cause of the crime was that Henry Vance when a deputy policeman in the course of his deputy was called to arrest Henry Smith for being drunk and disorderly, the Negro was unruly, and Vance was forced to use his club. The Negro swore vengeance and several times assaulted Vance. Vance was the police. So in his greed for revenge last Thursday, he grabbed up the little girl and committed the crime. The father is prostrated with grief, and the mother now lies at death's door. But she has lived to see the slayer of her innocent baby suffer the most horrific death that could be conceived. Words to describe the awful torture inflicted upon Smith cannot be found. The Negro, for a long time after starting on the journey to Paris, did not realize his plight. At last, when he told that he must die by slow torture, he begged for protection. His agony was awful. He pleaded and writhed in bodily and mental pain. Scarcely had the train reached Paris, then this torture commenced. His clothes were torn off piecemeal and scattered into the crowd. People catching the shreds and putting them away as mementos. The child's father, her brother, and two uncles then gathered about the Negro as he lay fastened to the torture platform and thrust hot irons into his quivering flesh. It was horrible. The man dying by slow torture in the midst of smoke from his own burning flesh. Every groan from the fiend, every groan from the black guy, every contortion of his body was cheered by the thickly packed crowd of 10,000 white devils. The mass of beings 600 yards in diameter, the scaffold being the center, after burning the feet and legs, the hot irons, plenty of fresh ones being at hand, were rolled up and down Smith's stomach, back, and arm. Then the eyes were burned out, and eyes were thrust down his throat. The men of Vance's family had wreaked vengeance. The crowd piled all kinds of combustible stuff around the scaffold, poured oil on it, and set it afire. The Negro rolled and tossed out of the mass, only to be pushed back by the people nearest him. He tossed out again and was roped and pulled back. Hundreds of people turned away, but the vast crowd still looked calmly on. People were here from every part of this section. They came from Dallas, Fort Worth, Sherman, Denison, Bonham, Texarkana, Fort Smith, Arkansas, and a part of 15 came from Hempstead County, Arkansas, where he was captured. Every train that came in was loaded to its utmost capacity, and there were demands at many points for special trains to bring the people here to see the unparalleled punishment for unparalleled crime. When the news of the burning went over the country like wildfire, at every country town, animals boomed forth the announcement. This is they go to sword down there Sunday time. Now, when we fucking with these white devils, man, we got to understand, man, we dealing with the invisible empire, which is the Ku Klux Klan. We dealing with these freemasonry motherfuckers, which is the Illuminati. And we dealing with these motherfuckers that's dealing with these British motherfuckers and taking this Scottish Rite. So as you can see, this scaffold right here, built sturdy, built right to put this black guy on him on his thing and sacrifice that they represent. Right? You got to have a mason to build some shit like that. They ain't finna go get Jim Bob, you know what I'm saying, down the street to build some shit like that. Nah, they gonna get the motherfucker that's the oldest motherfucking mason. They gonna make sure they build. They gonna make sure this motherfucker got degrees and some shit to where he know what the fuck he doing. To where 15, 20 motherfuckers stand on this motherfucker and that bitch won't move. So we looking at here. The scaffold was built by Freemasons who took the Scottish Rite through the British Empire, using torture and terror as a tool to wage murder and racist terrorism on the black man in Americas and abroad. Okay, now we at February 8th. Couple of days later, Paris, Texas. News had just been received that William Butler was lynched at Hickory Creek, 5 miles southeast of the city. Butler was stepson of Henry Smith, who was cremated alive here February 1st, and made him notorious during the search for Smith by claiming to know his whereabouts, which he would not divulge. These are three newspaper clippings. This is from the 7th. This is from the 8th, and the one down here is from the 10th. And they're just discussing about Henry Smith's stepson. They grabbed him up when they was looking for Henry Smith. They grabbed up William Butler and tried to make him find him. He didn't know where the hell the dude was at. Oh, you don't know where he at? We got something for your ass. You know what I'm saying? So they hung him. They hung him, they hung him, and after they hung him, they shot him while he was hung. Okay, this is the captors. These are the motherfuckers that captured Smith. These are the white devils that captured him and just let the motherfuckers just get him. You know what I'm saying? Here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't following the law. You know what I'm saying? We don't follow by no law. The only law we follow by is the law of Satan. Check this out. These are 6 pepperwoods right here, 6 of them. Okay. This is to New York, February 18th, 1893. The reign of the mob law. Lola's opinion of doing in the Southern field. I think Lola is my girl, Ida B. Wells. I think that's her pen name. Okay. The lynching epidemic still rages in Texas. Governor Hogg denounced the lynchers who burned Henry Smith as murderers. Telegraphed the district attorney and sheriff of Lamar County where the burning occurred to discharge their duty and make complaint and report those known to have been engaged in the lynching. The mob so little fear and so great contempt of governor, the sheriff, and the district attorney that it went a few days later, February 7th, and lynched William Butler. You know what I'm saying? That's when they went down there, you know what I'm saying? They got all that and they said, fuck you. We finna go down here and lynch this other nigga too. You know what I'm saying? Will Butler was stepson of Henry Smith, the man who was burned alive and made himself notorious during the search for Smith by claiming to know his whereabouts, which he would not divulge. So said the dispatchers. Hence, because Will Butler did not tell where his stepfather was, he was too lynched. Okay. Can you see this, K-Dub?
Yeah, I can see it. The picture of the news article, or you talking about both?
I'm just any one of them. You can
Oh
see
yeah,
both
I
of
see
them?
both. Yeah, I see both of them.
Okay, this is the white devil that I think the one that did it. You know what I'm saying? I think he the one that killed the baby. You know what I'm saying? But they know where his head. He done lied on this man. He done did all this shit to get rid of this man. You know what I'm saying? To torture this man. You know what I'm saying? You know that they say the devil is the father of lies. These motherfuckers was doing a whole bunch of goddamn lying. So look, this Henry Vance, all right, recalls a horror. Death of W.H. Vance, leader of Paris, Texas mob. Dallas, Texas, December 13th. W.H. Vance dropped dead in a saloon at Paris, Texas yesterday. Vance was known all over the United States. About 7 years ago, he was connected with the mob's execution by burning up the Negro. Henry Smith, for assaulting and murdering a 3-year-old Myrtle Vance. The torture of Smith was of the most cruel character. He was chained alive to a stake and a bonfire built around him. Iron rods were heated until they were fiery red, and then Vance pushed them into various parts of his body, burning out his eyes, tongue, and other organs. Smith confessed to the crime charged against him. His victim being Vance's daughter. Vance had been mentally afflicted ever since and periodically resorted to extreme intoxication. He was in the condition yesterday when he dropped dead. Good riddance, Pepperwood. Now, from 1889 to 1921, more than 3,436 African Americans were hanged or burned at the stake. Right? The shame of America. Yeah. See, can we see some of this shit? Let's see. Can you see that? K-Dub, can you see them little letters right here? Up under the 3,436 people lynched.
I mean, I can. I don't know if the audience can. Hold on. It's for what
Look,
crimes
these
have
is the
mobs?
alleged crimes right here.
Okay.
Murder. It's a murder, rape, crimes against the persons, crimes against property, miscellaneous crimes, absence of crime. You know what I'm saying? What type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? You kill a nigga because it's absence of crime? God damn, a nigga got his hell on a nigga around this motherfucker. Hold on, let me see. Let me go back. 1890s, right? This is the painter, Franz von Stuck, a painter of Lucifer, you know what I'm saying? A famous painter, famous painting of the devil, Lucifer. 1890, when these motherfuckers was getting cracking around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? 10,000 on one nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is the picture of the devil sitting on nothing. You know what I'm saying? They said the picture scared so many folks, the motherfuckers just couldn't even look at the goddamn picture. You know what I'm saying? But this them depicting the devil, the white man. Let's go. The invisible empire is symbolism in Lucifer worship. The Knights of the Ku Klux Klan was a terrorist counterattack beginning in Tennessee, designed to block Reconstruction and reverse the outcome of the Civil War. The Klan and the Scottish Rite were one in the same enterprise, continuing the imperial effort behind the slave on. So these motherfuckers getting up, they slavery ended, but they said, oh no, y'all got us fucked up. Before we let you niggas go, we gonna kill you niggas out. Okay. Now we looking at Albert Pike. Albert Pike is in that Freemasonry shit. You know, slave owner motherfucker, Mason, Ku Klux Klan member, You can't tell me no difference. This motherfucker's a Ku Klux Klan member. Check it out. This is what he say. This is what this bitch say. Albert Pike, the leader of the nigga that's heavy the Freemasonry shit, Ku Klux Klan and all that shit. This is what he say. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, the God of the Christians, whose deeds prove cruelty, perfidy, and hatred of men, barbarism, and repulsion for science, would Adonai and his priests calumniate him? Yes, Lucifer is God. And unfortunately, Adonai is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. For the absolute can only exist as two gods. Darkness being necessary for light to serve as its foil, as the pedestal is needed to the statue, and the brake to the locomotive. Thus, the doctrine of Satanism is heresy, and the true and pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity. Is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. Yeah, so this motherfucker here is a full-blown devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying? And this is their man. This is Albert Pike. You know what I'm saying? This is the nigga that they goddamn me get a lot of their information from and all that occultist shit from. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me go down and see where. Okay, this is the source for that when he said that shit right here. Okay, so now we finna get into the Albert Pike and the British connection. Okay. Albert Pike and the British connection. The rebellion of the Southern slave owners, which brought on the Civil War, was a British Empire spun. Hold on, let me take it. The rebellion of the Southern slave owners, which brought on the Civil War, was a British Empire-sponsored insurrection. The British supplied the arms used for the anti-U.S. insurgents and coordinated the Confederate Secret Service activities in North America and Europe. These expanded efforts continued the political and irregular military operations of the Scottish Rite, which had been led by Quitman and by Pike after that. For the final 3 years of the 4-year Civil War, Judah P. Benjamin served as a Confederate Secretary of State. Benjamin supervised the financial and supply relations to the British Empire and its ally, Napoleon III of France, and ran the Confederacy international network of spies and saboteurs. Benjamin's Secret Service liaison man in England and the Confederacy's chief arms procurer, there was James Bullock. We remember Bullock as the man who had been arrested in Cuba during Quitman's 1854 fiasco. John Slider became the famous Confederate commissioner to France, where he married off his daughter Matilda to Baron Emil Erlanger. The Baron was an eminent German French Jewish banker, closely tied to the British government in the highest levels of British Freemasonry. Slidell and Benjamin negotiated the famous Erlanger loan. The series of Confederate war bonds floated by this banker. They sold the bonds primarily to British oligarchs who felt poisonous hatred for the American Republic. The collateral for the Erlanger loan was Southern slave cotton that was smuggled out past the Union blockade. That's the source of that motherfucker down there. About this motherfucker and its ties with the British Empire. Okay, so now we're looking at these motherfuckers here. Four devils. Judah P. Benjamin, John Quitman, Albert Pike, and Nathan Bedford Forrest. That's KKK. We have KKK here. We got Freemasonry here. We got espionage up in this motherfucker. And we got the Scottish Rite up in this motherfucker. Right? Moving on. Let me hear you say, fuck the white devil.
That's a fact.
Check.
Fuck the word.
Now prepare yourself. I'm about to say some wild shit. These white devils sacrificed 3,436 black guys to Lucifer on record from 1889 up until 1921. That's in a short span of 32 motherfucking years. And this is an anti-lynching bill, which they had put, this was the first one. It's 200 more of them that didn't pass. This one didn't pass, and the other 200 didn't pass. In 2022, they finally passed the goddamn anti-lynching bill after damn near 200 years. Now, these are the facts. You can either agree or you can disagree. But based on history, the white man has been going around the planet enslaving, pillaging, and killing up until this very day. Check. Now, it ain't nothing I could say or expose to make black people turn against white folks. Let's get that clear. Because white people have blatantly did things for years, and y'all still love them. Check. Check. Okay, moving on. This presentation is to make my peers and elders remember and enlighten you. In closing, without the spirits of Henry Smith and William Butler guiding me through, and the shoulders of the giant ancestors, Ida B. Wells, the Princess of the Press, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and the Honorable Steve Coakley, I couldn't have seen as far. And I land.
Yeah, that was fire, my nigga. I like that shit. That shit was damn, nigga. That shit was fire, my nigga. Yeah, that shit was hard, my nigga. That's good shit right there, my nigga. I appreciate that game. Damn, that's fucked up.
Appreciate you, my guy.